All right, welcome back to the another episode of First in Line podcast. I know it's been a long time since you've seen and heard of me, but I'm very excited today for our episode. We got Carlos Tapia here with us today. I'll let him introduce himself in a very short second, but I just want to say, first of all, huge shout out to everybody who's listened, who's liked on YouTube, liked us on Facebook, followed us on Instagram, engaged with us on our Instagram stories. Bigger shout out to anybody who's clicked on the link down below to find the merch. And the greatest shout out to people who actually purchased the merch. Helps us a lot. And yeah, we're going to get to today's episode. We got Carlos Tapia here. Thank you for joining.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. So before we get into your story, I'd love to kind of give them a little background on our relationship, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So as you know, right, I went to Cristo Rey, graduated way back in 2015. And Carlos graduated 2019.
2019, correct.
And so, but you know, we met before he graduated in 2019, and yeah. I've told this story many times, so I'd love to just hear the story from your perspective and just like how we met, and then we'll talk about your whole life. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I'm Carlos Tapia. 2019 graduate, 21 years old, and yeah, I met Alberto in Cristo Rey, and basically we met. basically met because of tutoring. I've always been bad at math, especially. I think that was my weakest point. I'm sure you can agree with that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And that was like your specialty, math.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone would be done with school at like 3:30, and I'd always stay in for 9th hour. So I'd always have that extra class, and yeah, and I had like multiple tutors, and he was like one of my two tutors. I think I had you and Mr. Kilkelly. Those were my two main tutors. And also summer school, huh? Summer school, that was a big one too. Yeah, summer school. I was in there for a couple of weeks, Yeah, but we got it done, thankfully. And I always tell him, I'm super grateful for him and Mr. Kilkelly. May he, can paz descanse, rest in peace to him. And yeah, without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Most definitely. So super grateful for both of them too.
Yeah, and another like untold part of the story is when I was helping Carlos like through summer school, and then when I was finishing up my college career, I was kind of figuring out like what I wanted to do in life, and a lot of my resume was like going back to Cristo Rey, doing tutoring, working with students, which is a big reason why I got back into education. So in a different way, also like you were one of those students that I was like, I want to go back and help more Carlos Tapias and to graduate and to get them to do what they want. And so super proud to have you. We met, we caught up 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Saw him at the school, and we've had this podcast going on for about 2-3 months now. And as soon as we connected and he told me what he was doing, I was like, this guy's got to be on the podcast. So I'm really glad that we have you here. Go ahead, man. Start us off from wherever you want to begin your journey, and I'll kind of interject a little bit, ask some questions, but the floor is yours.
Well, I think if we're gonna talk about this, I should start from the beginning, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So thankfully, gracias a Dios, I graduated high school, 2019. Woo. Thank you to Alberto and Mr. Kilkelly, and the other tutors that helped me along the way, or anyone, a lot of students helped me out too. The whole class honestly helped me out because man, but after I graduated after high school, I honestly just didn't know what I was gonna do, and like I know I went to a college preparatory high school, but I from the jump knew I didn't want to go to college. College wasn't for me, but I definitely knew, I knew I wasn't gonna be a bum or anything, because I'm always on the grind. I'm always going, I'm hungry, I'm ambitious, and but just college was never in the picture for me or in my mind, and so honestly, after high school, a lot of people don't know this, but I also fell into my lowest point after high school because you're graduating, you're seeing all your friends, they're going to college and anything, and I wasn't upset about that, because like I said, I didn't want to go to college, but it's just like I think I was just more upset about the fact that I just didn't know what I was gonna do, at that time, which is normal, like there's no rush, we're all at our own pace, and yeah, you lose contact with your friends, they all start getting busy and everything. And yeah, all that, just plays a huge, factor in, yeah, and I guess you could just say I just felt alone in a sense, you know. And yeah, so I'm originally from Santa Ana, California, and I go there often. I go there a lot. We moved here when I was a little younger, but yeah, like I said, I'm originally from out there. All my family's out there. Mostly like my intermediate family's out here in Minnesota, but other than that, all my family's in Santa Ana. And I have a cousin out there, and he's a barber. But we graduated what, like June? We graduated June, so I think those it was like summer was about to be over, and like during that like June to let me see, June, July, what was it, August, right? Like June, July, August. I'm not even kidding. I had like 10 different jobs, you know, and it's not even because I'm like inconsistent or anything, or like I'm lazy or anything, or like don't show up on time. Because nah, that's not true, you know. I show up on time, and like cuando estoy ahí, pues le doy con todo, you know. Pues hay que trabajar, you know. Got to get this bread, you know. But yeah, it's just, you know, this wasn't for me or anything. At some point, I even had a good job. Well, you know, during that time span, I worked in construction, insulation, you know, painting, restaurants, cleaning, you know, lo que cayera, you know. I even had a good job in Eden Prairie. They were paying me like $24.50 an hour, you know, just to pick up phone calls, you know, because I'm pretty good with my Spanish. You know, perks of speaking Spanish and English, you know, that's, you know, something I feel like we don't praise a lot, you know, but it's good to speak two languages, you know. So that definitely helped me out. I was there for like a month, you know, it was cool, but I'm like, nah, like this ain't it, you know, like sitting in this office talking about coffee and the weather like 10 times a day. I'm like, this is not for me. But you know, everyone there was cool, you know, but I'm like, nah, this is not for me, you know. It's just like you're just sitting there, like, you know, getting cramps and stuff, you know, like just sitting in the desk. You know, so like, you know, summer was about to be over, so you know, I go to California, and like I said, my family is out there, and one of my cousins, his name is Sammy Tapia. You know, shout out to him, and also shout out to Juanito. So he plays a huge role too in this story. So basically, but my cousin Sammy, he's a barber out there, and the reason I was out there is because my cousin Juanito, he was getting married, you know, and he was getting married, and yeah, he was getting married. That's why I was there. But yeah, my cousin's a barber out there, and I think my trip was about to be over, and I had like a couple days left, like 2-3 days left, and we just got into the topic about like barbering and stuff, and then my cousin just honestly like inspired me, you know. He's just like, hey bro, like you should do this, you know, like you've always been great at talking to people, like you're not shy or anything, like you could keep a conversation, you know. And I started thinking, you know, and like we just kept going back and forth, and I'm like, damn, like, I don't know, and I don't know, but I did, and then I did realize at that point too that like the barbershop played a huge role in my life, you know, like in high school, and yeah, in high school it played a huge role in my life, because it's just like it's not even about just getting a haircut, you know, it's more than just a haircut, you know, it's the experience, the conversation, and just the advice you get, you know, like, you know, it's just dope, you know, like, yeah, you have your friends or anything, but sometimes, you know, you just, it's like a, you know, your 1 hour of therapy with your barber and everything. And I'm like, damn, you know, like, I never realized, like, how much I'm in the barbershop, too. I used to get a haircut, like, why, I don't anymore. I only get a haircut, like, once a month because I'd be busy. But in high school, I used to get a haircut, like, once a week. I was in the, you know, trying to stay fresh, you know, you know, I wasn't good at school, but, you know, I had to look good for the chicas, you know. You know, so yeah, I was in that barbershop, you know, getting the fade and everything. And I was just like, damn, like, you know, maybe I should do this, you know, maybe this is it, you know. So, you know, and it's funny though, before I even, you know, before all this, I would actually you know how people just watch like videos, and it's just like at the time maybe they don't find interest in what they're watching, but it's just like satisfying to them. I always used to watch haircut videos, but it's just, you know, like I said, I don't know, it's just like something about it that, you know, like that I liked watching, you know, at the time. But at the time I didn't think about like, hey, I could, you know, make a living off of this, or like, you know, go full time in this. You know, I didn't really, you know, think about that. I just, you know, enjoyed watching the videos and everything. And yeah, so, you know, we had like, we talked, and yeah, basically I just, you know, I'm like, yeah, you know what? It was like in the back of my head, you know, by when the trip ended, you know, I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe I can do it, you know, I'll think about it, you know, once I get back home. And I get home and I remember I only had like, man, I only had like $80. I only had like $80. I remember I went to Walmart and I bought some like $50 adjustable, to fade, and and like $25-$30 trimmer to line up, fresh lineups, or try to line up, because it's my first time cutting hair. And yeah, I hit up my homies. I had like 5-6 homies that I cut up. Well, I asked them, hey, bro, like I want to do this, and they were just like, what? You want to cut hair? And they're like, and I was like, yeah, man, I want to give it a shot. So I did that. Yeah, they pulled up. Shout out to them. Shout out to my cousin Christian. He was my first haircut. I remember I got back after that trip, and he was down. He was like, hell yeah, man. He pulled up. He pulled up to the crib, and man, I had him in the bathroom for 3.5 hours. Trying to fade him out. And yeah, I had him in there. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Like, move your head over here. Move your head over here. And I was just like, damn, man. As soon as I put that, like ball line, he was trying to get a fade, I'm just putting that ball line in there, and I'm like, damn, like, I can't cuss, but
no, you're good.
yeah, like, there's no going back after this. I gotta fade this out, or try to fade it out. But yeah, I was there. I had him in there for 3.5 hours. He was just like, man, he was watching the video too, trying to explain it, like, bro, do this, do this. He's like, man, you didn't even fade it out, man. And yeah, and yeah, I finished the haircut, and I look back at the video and I'm like, damn, bro, like I came a long way, and thankfully it's all because of them, like those humble beginnings, it's started with those $50 clippers, it didn't even cut, it was just like snagging the hair and everything, but yeah, and shout out to them. Like I said, without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at, today. But then again, it all comes down to, Alberto and Mr. Kilkelly, and also a really close friend. Her name's Paloma. Her too. She like kept me on track. Without them, honestly, I wouldn't even, be where I'm at today, or like barbering wouldn't even be like an idea, or like I wouldn't even be able to do barbering because honestly, like I don't think we realize how much a high school diploma, like how many doors it opens for you, without a high school diploma you honestly like can't do anything, like yeah, just if whoever's watching this video, if you're still in high school, like I know like some people, I don't know, you may not enjoy school, I was definitely, that was me, but like just get it done, man, like better times are coming, and yeah, and also, something I do want to add, is something I do want to add is that if you're close to graduating and you just can't decide on what you're gonna do, like it's okay, like don't stress it, you're at your own pace, don't compare yourself to, Juanito over here, don't compare yourself to, Jamal or something, like nah, like you do you, you're at your own pace, that's something I always did, like compare myself, like damn, I need to figure it out, like come on, man, like nah, man, like you're at your own pace, and if college is not the way for you to go, like yo, there's plenty of ways, you can make it out, like trade schools, it's huge, like it's huge, like look into trade schools. I tell a lot of my friends all the time, like, yo, trade schools, because I'm a barber right now, obviously, like, that's what I'm doing now, and I get a lot of, I get a lot of homies that come in for a haircut, they're like 14, 15, 16, 17, barely about to graduate, or like, they're barely entering high school, and I'm like, yo, like, you still got time, but like, hey, if college isn't your way to go, if college isn't the way, if college isn't for you, definitely look into trade schools. It's definitely slept on, and it's definitely something like we don't talk about, or like yeah, we just don't talk about or push. Like I get it. We want we want doctors, lawyers, teachers, and all these big degrees. But it's just like with trade schools, you can be your own boss. You don't gotta be working that 9 to 5 clock. You can come in whenever you want. You can leave whenever you want. And then I look at it like this. I'm super thankful. I'm super thankful. I'm super grateful on what I'm doing now, because I'm not always gonna be the 21-year-old Carlos. I'm eventually gonna grow up. I'm gonna have kids. And my kids are gonna have events, and I'm definitely gonna wanna participate and see them. And luckily with what I'm doing, I'm able to do that. If I wanted to take a trip, your family trip, I'm able to do that. Gracias a Dios. And also, big shout out to my clients. Shout out to all of them. Because without them, I'm honestly nothing. Because they don't need me, I need them. And yeah, I know I probably missed a lot, but I'm just going from throwing my head right now.
That was really good. Yeah, I also want to circle back and touch back on when you were talking about all those jobs you had, and it wasn't like because he was lazy, because he was late. Like when I was tutoring him in summer school, like there were days where he got there before I got there, right? Like he was in the classroom ready. And another thing that I think makes you a great barber, I haven't sat in your chair yet, which I plan to do soon for sure. But when I was working with him, it was fun. Like I had fun working with him, fun tutoring him, because it wasn't just like only math and that's all he cared about. Like he cared about who I was. He talked to me. He was making jokes. You remember the Wayne Given? Do you remember when you were telling me that or not?
The what?
The Wayne and Given or whatever. The moon thing. Remember when you were like when we were doing math and you told me that I was like, oh, I forgot how to do this. I got to figure it out. And then you're like, oh, you got to do the Wayne Given method. Do you remember? Do you remember telling me?
No? I don't remember that.
Okay, forget about
that. Wait, remind me though.
Well,
I'm curious now.
You were telling me like I forgot what we were doing, some algebra. And I was like, dang, I forgot how to do this. I'm gonna have to like look up how to do this. And I asked you like, do you have your notes that Mr. Hartz gave you or whatever on how to do this? And you were like, yeah. It's called the Wayne it's like a moon phase. What is it? Do anybody know Wayne and Gibbon? I'm gonna get murdered in the comment section, but especially since I'm a scientist or whatever. But you kept telling me like it's the Wayne and Gibbon. And I was like, I've never heard of that method ever in my life.
I was trolling you.
You were definitely trolling me, because then towards the end you were telling me like, yeah, no, that doesn't exist. I was just playing with you.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was like, that just shows that like, even when it was summer school, like something that a lot of students don't have to do. A lot of students are out there doing whatever they got to do. You still showed up before me. You stayed until you had to get those standards done. And I think it's an important thing of also finding the people that are equally interested in your well benefit, right? Like I came in and I wanted, like, that was my mission, right? I was like, I got to get Carlos out of here ASAP. I think it took us to the last day of summer school, but but we got it done, right? Like it was one of those things where when I got you on my caseload and I saw like your standards list, I was like, wow, we're gonna have to get to work, and we saw students leaving every day, right? Like 2 pages. Exactly. Yeah, you had like 2 pages. But it just shows that you're not lazy, right? You go there, you get it done.
You got to get it done.
Exactly.
It all comes down to like how bad do you want it, and I wanted it bad. I wanted to get out of that school, and I just wanted to, graduate, just move on, level up, and it all comes down to discipline too, am I gonna show up? Am I not? But I showed up, and yeah.
Yeah. So talk to me more about. Like you went to a college prep school, Cristo Rey, right? I think it's a great school. I'm very thankful for the school. But you also talked about you knew you weren't going to college. You knew you didn't want to go to college. You knew that wasn't the route you wanted to go to. But what did you tell yourself, like freshman year, sophomore year, when you were building up that discipline of like, I just got to get this degree, right? What were the things that you were telling yourself? What were the factors? Like, was it your mom that was telling you, like, you got to go back to school? You got to go back to school. Were there any conversations of like, I don't want to go back, or what was going on there?
Nah, honestly, honestly, my mom's always been supportive. Whatever, and I'm sure we all can relate. Our moms are supportive. Regardless of what we do or what we don't do. They're gonna be there. It's our mama. And no, my mom was always supportive. It's just like my mom was always supportive, but all she wanted me to do was to graduate high school. That's the only, like wish she had for me, because she knew, like, with that high school, like I said, that high school diploma, man, or like graduating high school, it closes a lot of doors, but just as much as it closes, it opens a whole bunch. And yeah.
So the story I want to talk about is focusing on minimization. So minimization is when you enter through a door to a new environment, and you kind of like check parts of yourself out, parts of your identity out, to kind of like fit into the new environment. For an example like that is a lot of us first gen community workers, right? Like going into a professional setting, sometimes we'll be like, oh, I shouldn't be speaking Spanish, or I shouldn't be talking about my family, or whatever the case may be, right? So we want to act more professional. And then kind of like what does it mean to be professional, right? Who created that environment, that like that setting of professionalism? And it comes down to like the majority created it for the majority to be successful, right? And then us minorities come in, and then we're seen as unprofessional because we don't fit in with the majority.
Yeah.
So one story that I want to kind of focus on with minimization that I think is a prime example is when you were working at your corporate work study program job. This was your junior year, you said?
Yeah. Yeah, freshman summer. It was one of the years.
It was one of the years, one of the 4 years. Um, talk to us about that story. Just like it's a quick story, I know, but it kind of it can make a big impact. And how that made you feel, and then we'll kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, before I talk about this story, it didn't make me feel like any type of way, because I'm just like, like I was just like, damn, what the heck, Well, I was working at this school. Let me just say that, and this school's in the suburbs, like suburbs, and I'm not gonna say the name because but it's in the suburbs, and point is, I would help them out. I was like I guess like the teacher's assistant. Just help them out. Help them out with the students, and I was like, I mean, I kind of was like the only Hispanic, in there. Yeah, I think I was honestly. But point is, my name is Carlos. As you guys all know now, or should know. But yeah, my name is Carlos, and it went from Carlos to Charlie, for the whole year, and I was just like, I would correct them too. I'm like, oh, it's actually Carlos, and I'd be like, oh, my bad, and it's just like, even the kids, they would call me, because obviously they were here, the teachers, like, hey, Mr. Charlie, and I'm like, it's Carlos, but. Yeah, that's just basically it. And I was just like damn, what the heck, Yeah. But I mean, I didn't feel. I was just kind of like, damn, what the heck, like seriously. I didn't feel any type of way. I wasn't like sad or anything, but I definitely could see why someone else would feel like sad, because it's just like saying I actually have friends that are teachers, and I have this one friend in specific. She always I went to visit her one time, and I realized how like hey, she would always ask like, hey, like how do you say your name? And it's like they're little kids, they're not understanding what's going on, but it's just like you don't realize how much even these kids are like that they're like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You don't realize how much of an impact that makes on them, like saying their name right, or like damn, or it just shows them like, damn, like this person actually cares or something, because maybe they're not getting that like attention at home or anything.
Yeah, and I would say like Carlos and I are very similar in a way of like the way that we tackle these types of situations. Where today I was in a class with Mr. Zaya. I was talking to the seniors,
for sure.
And just about college and getting there. And one of the questions that came up was, how did you deal with like the culture shock, right? And personally, if you knew me through college, like I paid little to no attention to like the culture shock, and that's that's a regret that I have. My first 3 years is when I would get asked to go to rallies, when I would get asked to be on committees, when I would get asked to be on boards. Like my first response was like, I'm busy, I got to study for this test, I got to get this degree, right? And in a way that helped me get my degree in 4 years, right? It helped me get to where I needed to be, and I'm very much of like this is my goal, these are the steps that I need to take, and I'm going to get through it to get there, right? And I think that's kind of similar to you, right? Like you wanted to find your passion, you didn't care about switching jobs every once in a while, but when you found something you like, that's what you do, right? But I think another thing is, as a first gen community, like the importance of our name, at least for me, like I think is super important because it's one thing that we carry with us every single day. It's the one thing that we get when we're born, and it's the one thing that
it's the one thing we're given when we're born. And it's probably like the only thing we take when
we're gone, and
6 feet down.
It's what people remember. It's your name. It's your story.
Exactly.
And kind of how you were saying, like, right, your name is Carlos. You should know it by now, right? Like that's kind of like you. At the end of the day, you want to be able to go somewhere. You want to go to a room, with a point where you don't have to introduce yourself, right? Like you want to be there because they want you, like we want you here, right? We want you talking about your story.
Sure.
And I think that's just like unique to a lot of first gen community, right? We carry this unique load. We have like a unique type of tiredness that other people really don't understand. And so we restore ourselves in a unique way, and then we shine in a unique way, right? Like, and I think that's something that we have to really take in is you're unique. This first gen title, this first gen identity part is something that's unique to us, right? So why are we hiding it? Why aren't we using it to show that we're unique? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, thanks for sharing that story. I think that's just something that we both deal with that the same way, but I wanted to kind of shed light on that and appreciate it. But
I'm sure like a lot of people deal with it too, you know, maybe in their corporate jobs or stuff, you know, and maybe they don't, they just stop like caring about it because it's just like whatever. But nah, it's something that you should care about. It's your name, you know. It's more than that. Like you just said, went into further detail about it.
Yeah,
I agree with you though, for sure.
Yeah, so definitely like protect your name, guys. If somebody's mispronouncing it, your teacher, professor, whatever, like correct it. Do what you can. Your boss, especially big time, right? Because that's also like a big sign of respect too, right? You got to get that respect, and a lot of us get into a room with minimization again, and we lose respect automatically just because of the way we look, the way that our last name is said. And sometimes bosses don't even like want to pronounce your last name because they've never seen it before. So moving on from there, right? We go on to now we're at the point where we're hopefully going to show some videos of his first cuts, which I think are hilarious, and they're also on his they're on Instagram. So go ahead, shout out the Instagram you want to shout out, and then we'll kind of go through your first clip video.
My Barber Instagram is Tapia_cuts, and my personal Instagram is Tapia.Carlos76. If any single ladies want to hit that up, you know, but holler at me.
And the barbershop one, the barber one is your whole journey, and it kind of
that's my whole journey. On the barber one, it's Tapia_cuts, most definitely.
That's hilarious. So talk to us. We'll put some videos up here so you can kind of see what we're talking about.
I think right here, actually.
There you go. Or right here too.
So this right here.
Right here. Editor's getting mad. But anyways, so you move on and you find this passion of being a barber, cutting hair, and you go into Moeller Barbershop, right?
Yep,
graduate. Moeller Barber School, barbershop, barber school. I've never been to a barber school. I don't know what barber school is. What does that entail? How long is it? Are there tests? Like what's going on? Talk to us about it.
So I went to Moeller Barber School. It's in Payne Street, 990 Payne. Well, actually, never mind. It's not 990 Payne because they just actually relocated into a new location. Yeah. And shout out to Alex and shout out to Rob. I forgot I haven't been to the new location, so I don't know the address, but I definitely do plan on going soon. I'm definitely gonna, tap in with them. I see Alex like an uncle, he's, mil respetos para ellos, Alex and Rob, I appreciate you guys a lot, for real. Yeah, man, barber school. I'm thinking I'm just gonna go in there and cut hair, and like we've talked earlier, I've never been good at school or like reading books and all that, And we go in there and like, I'm in barber school. And we start talking about like the nerve systems, like bones and stuff, like nerves, veins, and all that stuff. It's just like, it was like a little bit of biology too. And I was just like, hold up, what? Like animal cells too? Like I'm like, what? Hold up, what? I'm like, damn. I really had to basically, I'm not even gonna lie, like I low-key forgot everything I learned from high school. I forgot everything I learned from high school, and then I had to learn it again because I graduated June 2019. Then I went to barber school 2020 of like May or something or March. I forgot. I don't know exact dates. But I'm like, damn, I gotta learn all this stuff again, like all these nerves, bones, and all this, and a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just like, damn, I thought I was just gonna be in here like cutting hair, but nah, it's honestly, especially when you're interested in something, like it's really interesting, like you don't lose focus, like you're like in there, you're in the books, compared to like you're learning something that you may not be as interested, you're kind of like like getting distracted easier, like looking at other things or on your phone. But nah, like I would always like. Honestly, like be on track, like listen to my instructors, Rob, Alex, listen to it, because so basically our hours are from 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m. So from 8 a.m. to I think 10 a.m. Yeah, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I think it's like an hour and a half. Yeah, it's an hour and a half of learning like the books.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're reading the books. Well, like the instructor's reading the books, and we're like getting into further details. It's just like you're in college,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then once we're done with that, from like the next hours, the next 5-6 hours that we have on the day, we're cutting hair, we're cutting, blessing the community,
Yeah.
cutting the community up, obviously with supervision, because we're all learning, and yeah, it's honestly really interesting, something that I found really interesting that I feel like a lot of people don't know. I'm sure like you guys don't know about this when I'm about to tell you guys. So, you know how when you go to a barbershop, you see, well, if you go to an authentic barbershop, you got the barber pole. And the barber pole, what colors do you see on the barber pole?
Red, blue, and white.
Yeah, red, blue, and white. Do you guys know what that stands for?
No.
No. So basically, what is it, like late 1800s?
Mm-hmm.
No, early 1800s. Point is, back in the day, I don't know the years, man, but back in the day, we actually were more than just barbers. We weren't just barbers; we were surgeons. So I'd be cutting your hair, and I'd be like pulling your tooth out or stuff like that, And you know how? Okay, so let me tell you what it stands for. So red stands for blood,
mm-hmm.
white stands for bandages, and blue stands for veins. So you know how nowadays we got like Yelp, like,
yeah.
Hey, should I check out this restaurant? Like, let me see the reviews. Are they good or not?
Mm-hmm.
You go off the ratings and stuff. So back in the day, obviously, technology and everything, they didn't have that. Nowadays, we're blessed. We got all this technology. But now, back in the day, a barbershop was popping if their windows were full of bloody bandages. So after I'm done cutting your hair and like I pull the tooth out, obviously that's a lot of blood, and I'd grab the bandage and I'd stick it on the window. So if you're walking down the street and you see a lot of bandages on the window, like, yo, this is a reliable barbershop. I'm gonna come in here, like I trust them with my haircut and whatever other needs I got, other needs too, surgeons, we did all type of stuff. So that's definitely something interesting too. And yeah, my overall experience at Muller Barber School was amazing. Honestly, I enjoyed every minute of it. And I honestly, I miss Alex and Rob. It was always a good time with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I do plan, later on in the future, to become a barber instructor. Pass that knowledge down.
Yeah.
And yeah, even be a barbershop owner.
Yeah.
You gotta, hay que superar. Hay que, la frente para adelante.
Yeah. So how long does it take to graduate from like barber school?
So it's 1,500 hours. It takes 9 months. So you're in there Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, Monday. If you gotta do your thing. So like me, like I was working at the. Where was I working? I was working at Wahlburgers at the time. I remember I was working at Wahlburgers at MOA. So I was cooking it up. Doing my thing in the fry station. And just pay off tuition or just make ends meet, help out too, but luckily my parents have always been supportive too, they help me out a lot, gracias a Dios, I have them and they're like really supportive of everything. And yeah, so once you're done with the 9 months, you go, in order to get your barber license, you got to take a test. You got to take a practical, and you got to take you got to physically, do a board taper. It's called a board taper. It's just like a little taper on the sides, and then, taper in the back. It's like a gentleman's cut, kind of, just taper it out on the sides. They want to see, and you're not using guards though. You can only use one clipper and a comb to do like the whole haircut, and you got to do a razor shave and a facial massage.
Yeah,
you gotta do a facial massage, haircut, and a shave. That's what you gotta do, and you gotta do like all these movements and stuff, while you're shaving and stuff. Woo woo woo,
Yeah.
And then if everything goes good, if you do it all right, and boom, you pass your license. My honestly, my weakness was the practical, because them books, like reading and stuff. Man, I actually did good, so I actually didn't study for the test, the day before or like any time.
Yeah.
I think I was off by a couple points. I forgot how much exactly, but I was no more than 5. I was off.
From a perfect.
Yeah. No, not from perfect.
From passing.
From passing, you know. Okay. Hey, all you care about is passing. I don't care about perfect, you know. As long as I pass this test, I'm straight. Let me get this 3.0, Cristo. I'm straight, you know, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
No extra credit here.
No 4.0.
We just gotta pass.
We good. We gotta get that.
We gotta get it done, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's as an educator, I think it's important. We call it like connective instruction.
Yeah.
Where you kind of try to relate the material to something that students will be interested in. Like that's why you see a lot of questions about sports. A lot of questions like especially with math about sports. And there's a lot of students that like they get interested in building websites, and so use that to kind of help them get into like actual coding. There's a lot of students that get into like at this young age, right? They get into like the stock market, trying to understand how that works, and that's all about like recognizing patterns, and that's in every single class, right? Recognizing patterns in history and science, all that stuff. And so I think it's in a perfect world, we have like a tailored experience for every student or like every group of students where we can kind of bring that connective instruction, right? Like something that they're actually interested in, and then have like the subset, I guess, achievement be like learning the actual content. As an educator, I'll say that it's extremely difficult for one teacher to do that. For a class of 25 and then have 4 of those classes. But
like
I think
keeping them engaged and stuff.
Yeah. So it's not just straight by the book, but like how does this apply? Because then you can't get asked the question of like, when am I going to see this again? Right? Because you will see it again at some point in the future.
Yeah, you definitely will.
Yeah, you definitely will. And that's the thing that I love about talking to grads is like, teachers say it all the time, tutors say it all the time, and you don't believe it.
You'll see it when you least expect it. Let me just tell you that.
Yeah.
Like, damn, you know, like, when am I going to see this y equals mx plus b, you know? But, damn, you're going to see it soon.
It's going to come back up. Talk to me about, you graduated now from barber school, you're a licensed barber, to today. Like, what are some interesting clients that you've had? I know that maybe we'll put the video, but you also have cut a former teacher of yours.
Man, with this barber industry, you know, you meet a whole bunch of people, man. You meet a whole bunch of people. You meet some cool people. That's something I enjoy about this. You meet all types of people, you know, all types of cultures, all types of backgrounds, you know, which is dope, you know. I'm cutting all type of people, you know. I'm cutting dentists, doctors, you know, a lot of people that work in the medical field. I'm cutting. I got 2 clients. They're like millionaires. They got you know, these businesses. You know, they started from the ground up. You know, they just built it up. You know, and you got bartenders. You know, so you know the hookup. You know, the club securities. You know, I don't need that though. You know anymore. I'm 21. You know, you just need you got all type of people. You know, if you get into some trouble, like I got you. You got me. You know. And it's just like we don't realize how much a conversation goes, you know. Like, you know, they come to me, you know, and I love talking, you know. I talk a lot, and we don't realize how much a conversation can how much a conversation like with someone goes, you know. Because, you know, us men, you know, we tend to not talk about how we feel, you know, what we're going through, you know, how our week's going, or like, you know, what's going on in our, you know, daily life, you know. But at the barbershop, you know, that's where you let it all out, you know. And you know, I got people that coming in here, like, you know, they're coming in with like breakups, you know, divorces and stuff, and you know, and like I tell people all the time, like, I'm not a licensed therapist, you know, but the 60 minutes you're in my chair, you know, you got my, you know, my full on attention, you know, you got my, you know, both of my ears, like, I'm listening to you, you know, and if I can, you know, I may not give the greatest advice, you know, but just hearing something, you know, like, you know, that just like, you know, it just makes you feel good, you know, like, yo, you know. Yeah. I cut all type of people. You know, I'm probably missing a few. You know, but yeah. Oh, something. I feel like someone cool that I cut is So I didn't know this. The Timberwolves have a professional 2K playing team. So, you know, you got your Timberwolves that, you know, go hoop, you know, woo, you know, they play professionally, you know.
Losing the first round of the playoffs.
I know, right? 2 20-point leads.
Dropping those. I was there in person, and y'all dropped 2 20-point leads. Oh, okay.
Man. But yeah, I got you know, shout out to Michael, shout out to Kobe, you know, they're actually part of the Timberwolves, so they cut what the heck, I cut them, but my bad, I'm stuttering, but so they're part of the Timberwolves, but they're part of the they play professionally for the Timberwolves on 2K.
Esports.
Yeah, esports. Yeah, so they go on tournaments and stuff, and they just do the thing, and they make a living off that, which is dope. Good for them, and
Yeah, I think now that I'm hearing you talk, right, like being a barber, I think is like a very underrated like networking opportunity, right? Because you're meeting all these people, and given that first impression of who Carlos is, and like having a loyal barber, I think is important, because when a big project comes up, you never know who's gonna be calling you up, right?
Yeah.
First in line, we got you here. We got you talking about your stories, and I think that's something that a lot of people talk about. College is a huge networking opportunity, and it is. But as Carlos has been telling us, like there's so many more opportunities as well out there besides college, and so you get to meet these great people, and they talk to you, right? Like they open up. It's almost like like you said, right, therapy. Like they're there and they want to open up.
Exactly, most definitely.
Yeah,
that's true, man. The barbershop is where it's at, guys. Go get your cuts,
Yeah, and you cut at LV's barbershop.
Oh yeah, LV's barbershop.
LV's barbershop in
on the south side. 27th Street.
There you go. And so if you're trying to look for a good cut, sure. I'll definitely try to go there. And when I do, hopefully have a little video. I'm not the most photogenic person, but put up a little video there. Great. We got a couple fun questions from the Instagram.
Yeah, most definitely.
That we're gonna go ahead over and
sure.
talk a little bit. If you guys want to drop questions in Instagram, you can DM us on Instagram. I'm probably gonna start posting like the little text box where you can kind of submit your own question. But we got questions DM to us. So first question.
Oh, we got questions.
Yeah.
What?
3 questions that we want to go over. First things first. I have them right here. Have you ever had a client, or is that what you call them, clients?
Yeah, clients. Yeah.
You ever had a client that comes in and
family?
There you go. You ever a clientele family come in and this is something that I'm also curious about, right? Like when I go get my haircut, like anytime they've sat down and they ask for something that you don't know how to do.
Yeah. See, I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And how do you deal with that? And like, is it like a kind of like, I can't do that, go somewhere else? Or
I think honestly, is I haven't had something that I don't know what to do. It's more, I think it's more in the sense that like, it's just something we don't get a lot, Yeah, but I have had some crazy like requests, and I'm just like, hold up, what?
Yeah.
But it's just like, but you pull through, I mean, you're I'm at the barber shop full time, I'm comfortable with anything,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like as long as you don't push someone's hairline back or leave a patch and like you straight, give them a crispy line up, like you good, Yeah, but I have definitely had some like crazy requests. I'm just like, hold up, what? Like you want this bottle or something? I don't know. Yeah, I have had some crazy things. I just can't think about it right now, but I know I have.
Yeah.
I feel like the most awkwardest things always happen to me. Like I'm always put in like these uncomfortable situations. I don't know why. It's just like I feel like it's always happening to me and no one else,
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely has happened. I'm sure it happens to everyone, It's gonna happen.
That's what I.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in there, at the barbershop, all the time, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're gonna come in like what? Or it's just sometimes they use different slang,
Yeah.
Because they're coming in like today. I had a homie. He's Puerto Rican. He came in. He came in from Puerto Rico, obviously.
Yeah.
He's here for like vacation or something, like a game or soccer game. You know how like right now like the tapers are in, like this is what I got. It's like a high taper.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people don't know this, but like they're also called blowouts.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, if you've heard of tapers, though,
yep,
right?
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. Like in different cities, it's called like blowouts too. Like, can I get a blowout on the sides and the back? It's just different backgrounds and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta get it done. You gotta get them right.
When the Puerto Rican said like blowout, were you like, what is that, or show me a picture?
No, I knew right away. Okay. I watch a lot of videos. I like to
diversify,
because with knowledge myself, because with anything. Something that really stuck with me from my barber instructor Alex is that and even right now shout out to LV, shout out to my uncle LV, shout out to you, uncle, also también you know, in order to like grow in this industry, or I think honestly anything, you always gotta keep like a student mindset. You know, because you can learn something from anyone. You know, just because I don't know, there's a new barber in here. You know, like he's only been cutting for like a month or 2 months or 6 months. You know, I can learn something from him, or just because you know, or like later on in life, you know, if I'm cutting for like 10 years and you know, if I'm feeling I know I'm not gonna feel this way because I like to learn everything. But like if I was like stuck up and like I can't learn, I've been cutting for 10 years. You know, I can't. You know, I'm not gonna learn anything from this guy. You know, he's been cutting for a year. Nah, you can learn something from everyone. You always gotta keep that student mindset.
I like
you know,
that.
You're always growing. You know,
Yeah,
your mind's always growing. You know,
I like that one.
Yeah,
yeah, I like that. And I tell my students all the time, like even when I was teaching middle school and high school, now I'm like I'm as much of a student as you are right now. You know, I just have a degree. You know. So I'm learning as much from you guys as you guys learn from me. It's just trying to get better.
Everyone's always learning, you know, with whatever you're gonna do, you know.
Yeah.
You always got to think about it like, you know, the veteran was once in your shoes too, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and also you're gonna be the veteran one day too.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, next question. You ready?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so.
Would you put like, oh, there's gonna be a barber in here or something?
Yeah, something like that. So next question is, you ever like see somebody's basically like where when you can tell you didn't get them what they wanted.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that situation? And like, how do you approach that situation? Like when and you're like you like your cut, and then you see that face of like, I don't know.
I have had that.
How do you deal with that? What do you think, and what happens?
I'm just like, oh fuck, you know. Yeah, I have had that though. Yeah, I'm just like, fuck.
You just gotta play it cool, or do you do you verbalize
hey,
like,
yo, what's the cut, man? Man, you just gotta play it smooth, like, you know, like, man, I gave you my best effort, you know, but maybe you didn't get what you want. But I feel like I had that like during school a lot.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I just showed them the cut, and they're like, yeah, like, this is the best cut. It's funny. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I remember like I showed my friends a haircut, and I'm like, hey, how's the cut? And they're like, bro, this is the best cut. I've got it. And I look at the videos. And I'm like, bro, like, bro, your hairline's all the way over here or some shit. You know, like, damn, you got like a patch right here. When I was first starting, I'm like, damn. Cause I've been looking at the videos, you know, just like, damn, you know, I came a long way, you know. But obviously, you know, there's more growth every day, you know.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
But even then, like now, I'm not gonna, you know, like sugarcoat it. You know, I'm sure I've had that now, even at the barbershop.
Yeah.
But then again, it also comes down to, you know, it doesn't always come down to like it's not always my fault. Sometimes clients just don't know what they want, or they just don't know how to ask for what they want. Honestly, like, it's always good to have a picture, you know, when you go in a barbershop, you know, just give them an idea and everything, you know. Yeah. Just, you know, give the barber an idea, you know.
Better idea what you want.
What they want. Yeah.
Great.
Definitely, man.
Ready for the next question?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So this person said that they've always wanted to do this, but they've never done it. But like going to a barber and telling them like, do what you want, like what looks good on me. And so, first question is, has that ever happened to you? And second question is, do like barbers? Is that something that like excites barbers? Is it like, oh, I get like a canvas to try something on, and how much like head shape goes into it and all that stuff? Like, talk to me about that. Any experience like that?
Bro, honestly, me like that excites me. You know, I have a saying at the barbershop, like the Santana freestyles. That's what I call them. You know, because they're like, hey, do what you want. You know, I like to add like a little freestyle, like a design or something. You know, and well, for me personally, that does excite me. You know, like, you know, this person. And honestly, like it's mostly usually like your clients, you know, like they just want to switch it up or something. Like, hey, you know, do whatever you want, you know. Like, I trust you, you know, and like, you know, that's kind of like, hey, like, you know, like respect, you know. Yeah. So, you know, you just gotta, you know, what you actually like gotta think like, yo, what would look good on him, you know, besides what he usually gets, you know. Yeah. You gotta switch it up a little, you know. Maybe add like a line or something, you know. Yeah, just switch it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So going off that, then like, what would you say? I need a haircut, right? So like you as an experienced barber, what do you
usually get?
So I usually get like
a fade.
I usually get a fade.
Skin fade.
Color. Sometimes skin fade. Sometimes I don't like to go all the way down to skin fade. But then I always comb it to the right, and I leave like the back flat, and then put a little bit more volume on the front, and then, you know, like this.
Yeah. Honestly, you should get like a mohawk.
A mohawk? Nah, 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 nah. Are you serious?
Yeah, like a mohawk.
No, 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 no. What? Explain more about your mohawk.
Like with the V in the back.
Like dude, okay, I was about to say.
Nah, I'm just
I was
playing.
Hold on.
Nah, honestly, I mean, it seems like you get like probably like a mid fade or something, or like
Yeah.
you said sometimes you don't like going down to the skin fade.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could try a taper. Try it out, as a taper. Try a taper,
Try to
man.
take that. Yeah.
Switch it up, yeah. A taper or maybe a higher fade or a lower fade,
Yeah.
or even have you tried a brush fade?
No, I have
I
not.
think you have, honestly.
Have I?
Yeah.
I know I've done like a drop fade. Is that? I don't know
Yeah,
if that's the same.
yeah, it's kind of like the same thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
I like the drop fade.
yeah,
Like the
drop fade. Yeah, yeah.
Great.
There's just different ways to how you want the fade. If you just want the ball line to go like around or something, or you want to drop it in the bag.
Yeah.
Just whatever you're feeling.
Yeah.
Or even a low fade. The lower the fade is, the more darker it is. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't
the
know
more
that.
higher the fade is, the more
okay.
Obviously lighter it is.
So like a low fade is more darker up.
Yeah, more darker on the parietal ridge. This is parietal
I see.
Ridge right here.
See, that's what I need. Yeah. I didn't know that. I was
you like to keep it dark?
I like to keep it dark, but I never get it dark.
Yeah.
I never. That's why what I would do is I would be like, give me a fade, but like starting at a 1, so that I think that way it's darker up.
Yeah. Why do you like to keep it dark up here?
I just like the aesthetic.
You just like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should get a lower fade then.
Yeah, yeah, I don't like the all the way being bald like up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I didn't know that, so now I'll definitely try that. Sure. All right. Another question that we get that we have for you is like, do you cut your own hair? How long have you been cutting your own hair for? Do you have like a different barber? Is that kind of thing that happens? Does different barbers cut each other's hair?
Honestly, I haven't cut my own hair in a long time. But when I did cut my own hair, and this is when I was cutting at my crib,
yeah,
I would taper myself out. I would just give myself a taper. But other than that, I was like, hell no, man, I can't do that, because I was already giving myself a taper. I was like this in the mirror, like damn, I can't even see, but I'm trying to fade this out.
Yeah,
but usually I go to my, shout out to my homie, Barber Isai. He cuts at LV's barbershop also. That's my boy. I be cutting him up, he be cutting me up. We just go back and forth. And yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
yeah.
Perks of being a barber, man. You
don't no good barbers.
Yeah, you don't ever gotta pay for a haircut either.
Oh, that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
that's like the only benefit. We don't really,
Yeah. Final question we have here from the audience is, you ever got in a client that they pull up like a 2007 Ronaldo haircut and like, I want you to make me look like this, and then you just talk to me through experience like that.
Yeah, I have had that actually. I remember this lady came in. It was a lady actually.
Yeah.
It was like an older lady, but I don't know. She had curly hair too. She wanted like some like comb over type shit, but like she had like an afro going, and she wanted like it's like me, like you and me, we got that straight hair.
Yeah.
So obviously when we comb it over, it's like it's not curled up or anything.
Right.
It just lays right. And then she showed me the picture, and I'm just like damn, first of all, because she originally came in with like she had like the fro going on, but like in a mohawk, so she had it going on the mohawk.
Yeah.
And she's like, get rid of the back, get rid of the back, and just I want to start combing it over to the side. And I'm just like the picture. And she's like, yeah. And at first I was just like, oh, she probably just wants the sides, not the top.
Just the top, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, just a fade on the sides. And she said, no, I actually want the top like in the picture. And I'm like, you wanna comb it to the side like that? And she's like, yeah, you look at the picture. Like, you think you can do that? And I'm like, yeah, I can, but I'm gonna gel that up, yeah, She had like that really coarse curly hair,
Yeah.
So it wasn't gonna lay right,
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, we made it work,
we did our thing. That's what you gotta do, man.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do,
Yeah. That's hilarious. I can't even imagine like the thoughts and like the memories you have before you go to sleep, and you're kind of just thinking about your day and.
Yeah, that's why client consultation is key. Like let them know like, yo, it's not gonna work out. It's not gonna fit you or something.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time they're understanding like, yo, like yeah, you are right, but yeah, in this story, yeah, the lady did not care. Like she didn't care what it take. She wanted that comb over look. With them curls. Yeah. But yeah.
Great. So talk then about like some of your like barber pet peeves, and then some other like popular barber pet peeves that you've heard from like your fellow barbers.
Yeah, for sure. One of my pet peeves would be honestly, I think one of my pet peeves is honestly one of my pet peeves is when they come in like gelled up, and then they're like, "Hey man, can I let me get a trim on the top, take like an inch or inch two," and then I'm just I grab the comb and I'm like, "Damn man, like you want an inch off of this?" I'm over here like snagging their hair, like about to break their scalp, like yo. But like in those situations, I do, like wash their head, and just give them a little wash or something, or I just give them a little wash. But I have sometimes, when I'm busy and I'm like, damn, I can't, wash their head, or maybe I just don't got time, and I just, spray a lot of water and all that gel's coming out, but we make it work, Another pet peeve would be that client, man, that you're cutting his head, and like he just wants to look at you while you're cutting his head. So like I'm fading him out, and he's just like, yeah, man. So this Saturday, I was over here, woo, and I'm like, oh, yo, yeah, really, damn, how was it? And then we're going back and forth talking, and then at that point, I'm just I grab their head, like I'm thinking, maybe he'll get it, like yo, like can you keep your head still, like like I'm trying to fade this out right here, and they're just like, yeah. I'm just like, damn, like, did you not get the message, And then also, another one would be, man, it's crazy. I can't think about them right now. But we talk about this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or also like that client that just like doesn't understand, like, yo, I can't squeeze you in,
Oh yeah,
like, like, damn, like he be coming in. I have a homie that like comes in on Saturdays and he knows I'd be busy, and he's probably gonna, if he sees this, damn, but he be coming in like on weekends and I'd be busy. He's like, hey man, can you get me in? Just quick lineup, man. I just want a lineup, man, just right here,
Yeah.
And man, I remember I did it once, I'm like, he just wants a quick lineup. Man, that lineup turned into a whole haircut, and I was like 30, 40 minutes behind. I'm like, damn. Like, you told me a quick lineup, and I'm like, bro, just book your appointment next time.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for answering those questions. Thank you for sharing your story, Carlos.
Yeah, sure.
I want to.
for having me, man.
Of course, man. Any last minute messages? Your camera's yours. Any shout outs? Just something that you wanna end the podcast with, and then I'll kind of close it out after that.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, guys, viva la raza, and let's all keep pushing, let's do it for our future, let's do it for our family, y pues hay que seguir chingándole,
Yeah.
And yeah, sky's the limit, guys. Don't ever think you can't, because you can. No such thing.
I love that.
Pues, yeah. Saludos a todos.
Great, man. Great. Well, that's the First in Line podcast episode for today. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a comment down below with questions you got, and we'll kind of hit Carlos back up and kind of see if we get other answers. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel, follow our Facebook, follow our Instagram, ask those questions on Instagram, because as you see here, we'll ask them on the podcast. We have something for you, Carlos. Talked about it before. We got the merch here. As you guys can see, First in Line. I don't know if you guys can see. We'll post a picture. Also, First in Line hoodies. Down in the description down below. Follow that link. Even if you just share the link, or if you cop something, super appreciative of that. Here's your merch.
Appreciate it, bro.
Again, Carlos, thank you so much, man. It's been great.
Appreciate you guys for having me, man.
And catch you guys next time. See ya.